Dear viewers, countless people get into this problem called midlife crisis. Midlife crisis is something which you should consciously avoid. Anyone who gets into midlife crisis, it's going to be a one-way journey downhill from there onwards. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about 8 traps that might lead you into the midlife crisis. This is NRI Money Clinic for you. I am Dr. Chandrakant Bhatt, your financial guide for a happy living.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
When you start your career, you should be conscious about what you want to achieve in life. The clarity that you have at this stage can help you build a robust life. It is a foundation phase of your life. Everything that you do either will build your life or it can destroy your life. Nobody wants to get into a midlife crisis. It happens from nowhere. Why it results into a midlife crisis? What are the things which may lead into midlife crisis? Let us look at one by one traps which can lead you towards the midlife crisis. If you know about them, then you can consciously avoid these traps and lead your life like any other normal person, or you can really build a very good life which anybody else can emulate. Trap number 1: buying large properties in the beginning of your career. Now, there is nothing wrong in buying a property, but buying a large property in the early phase of your life can become a trap for you. Why? Normally, parents will put pressure on you. You start earning and they ask you to buy a house, a big property in your native place or some place as early as possible. Now, when you are in the beginning of your career, you are working for a low salary. Your career has still not taken off. You are not moved up the ladder. Your salaries have not risen. Now you buy a big property and get into the trap of paying a big EMI out of your salaries. That leaves a very small amount of money left for you to live with. It can lead into cash shortage. It can also lead to other problem. Suppose if you lose job in between, or if there were to be a cash flow issues, this can create all kinds of problem for you and you can land into a debt trap. Avoid buying large properties in the beginning of your career. Keep your EMIs low, or it is better if you postpone it for a future date. If you are a person who is living in India, rentals are far cheaper than servicing an EMI. In the beginning of your career, focus on staying in a rented house. That gives you a lot of cash to plan your life. Trap number 2: lack of sufficient time interval between two children. These days, people decide to have only one child. There are lots of people who will have 2 children. It's fine to have 1 or 2 children, that's your personal preference. I will not comment on that. But it is essential that you maintain good number of years difference between having these 2 children. At least a 5 years interval between 2 children is a desirable thing for you to have. What happens if you have 2 children in successive years or within a very short span of 2 or 3 years? The problem that comes here is you are still in the beginning phase of your life. You could be 25, 30, 35 years or whatever could be the early phase of your life. Children represent an expense, and it is going to be a big expense. It is a dream for everyone to bring up their children in the best possible ways, which means it calls for a considerable amount of money from your budgeting. So if you have 2 heads of expenses coming at short intervals of time, it can play havoc with your finances and it can lead to all kinds of problems going forward. So it's desirable. Think about it and make a conscious effort to have a well 5 years space in between 2 children. Trap number 3: not consciously building sufficiently large enough emergency funds. I stress the word here, large enough emergency funds. There are people who say you should have 3 months expenses as emergency funds. Mark my words, such small amounts of money will not serve as emergency funds. Emergency funds should be large enough. In fact, I have done a complete video on how you should build emergency funds. I'll be giving a link for this particular video here in the card section. Make sure you check out on that. Your emergency fund should be at least for a period of 2 years. Building emergency fund takes time. It is an ongoing process. You should constantly evaluate. If you do not have an emergency fund, what can happen is anything which is going wrong in your life, let's say suddenly you lose job, or suddenly you have to get displaced, or suddenly an unknown expenses comes into your life, then your finances can go haywire and create havoc. Once your finances become haywire, then you may end up paying a lot of interest. It may result in borrowing and all unintended consequences. Therefore, make sure that you build sufficient enough emergency fund. Not maintaining sufficient enough emergency fund is one of the primary causes of a midlife crisis. Trap number 4, excessive use of credit cards. Credit cards are power in your pocket. With the credit card, you can do anything you want. But remember, it's a credit. Remember, you have to pay it back. If you pay it back very quickly, it will not create problem for you. But if you carry forward your balances and pay it later on, the charges on the credit card are very, very debilitating. It can form a habit in your life because you can become very impulsive. You go to the market, you see something, you become very impulsive, swipe your credit card, and you have the power to buy that and come back. But it comes with consequences. If it becomes excessive use, then you may have a bad habit in your life which can lead to midlife crisis. If you are using credit card, be conscious to use credit card within the budget that you have set yourself on the monthly budget. When you use the credit card, make sure that you clear your credit card bill 100% at the end of the month. Never ever make the mistake of carrying forward the credit card balances. Credit card balances are the most expensive loan that you can take anywhere in the world. Trap number 5, trigger happy attitude towards taking loans. These days, you may have an attitude to take loan or not, but you get countless calls day in and day out asking you to take a loan and luring you into taking a loan. The bankers will keep calling you and say interest rates are low, it's a small rate of interest, this is your best opportunity, take the loan and invest. All kinds of wordings are used making you to lure to take the loan. If you are an NRI working in different parts of the world and credit card offers for you as well as the loans, personal loan offers for you are there every day, you get lured into it, especially when the rupee is depreciating. People make best use of these offers and say draw it in dollars, convert it into rupees, you can invest this. You should stay away from trigger happy loans. The loans are not cheaper. Many a times the banker will say it's going to be a small percentage of loan, just the 4%, but it's a flat rate. When a loan is given to you on a flat rate, multiplied by 1.8, that will give you an approximate reducing balance method of calculating the interest. So if you are taking a loan at flat 4% rate, it is approximately equals to close to 7 or 7.5%. I'm talking about the loans in dirhams or dollars or whichever the currency you are in. You should calculate according to which currency you are taking loan. These loans are not cheaper. Avoid taking these loans if you do not need them. If you are taking a loan, you should make best use of that loan and use it productively. Take it only if you are in need it. Don't take it because your banker or a credit card company is offering you the loan. If you are a salaried person, remember this. Your salary, whether you are working in a low level or mid level or high level, is a finite amount of money. During your work life, you will not get one extra month's salary because you have taken a credit card loan. A businessman may put in extra efforts and generate cash, but for a salaried person, you don't have that luxury. So every time you take a loan, your life gets constricted to such an extent because out of your earning, a disproportionate amount of money is going into paying the interest. So avoid this trap of taking a trigger happy loan. Trap number 6. Habit of a lavish lifestyle. I'm not against anyone living in a lifestyle, but when you upgrade your lifestyle, when you get trapped into a particular lifestyle, it can result in consequences, and one of the consequences is the midlife crisis. Nobody says you should not eat out. Nobody says you should not drive a car. Nobody says you should not do what it interests you. But if you say that I have to eat out in a particular expensive restaurant, then it can become a problem for you in the long run. Eating out is fine, but you decide where you should go, what's your budget, how many times you should go. If you have a family budget, stay within that. Do not get into a lifestyle because a friend of yours or another colleague of yours is having a particular lifestyle. The comparison, peer pressure, or trying to catch up with somebody else can land up in a very bad situation, and this can definitely result in a midlife crisis. So whenever you are upgrading to a next level of lifestyle, think twice. You can do it tomorrow, you can do it next year, you can do it few years later. The more you push it to a future date, your life remains in a much better way financially. Trap number 7, high cash burn ratio. A cash burn ratio particularly refers to how much of a cash you are consuming out of your earning. If you are earning 100 units of money, how much are you consuming? How much is going out of it? If your cash burn ratio is more than 70%, that means you earn 100 units of currency. More than 70%, if you are consuming for your day-to-day living, you are in a danger zone. If you have crossed 70%, you should think, you should evaluate where you can cut on that. So if you keep your cash burn ratio less than 70%, that's where it is desirable. If you are in the beginning of the career, you are working with a low salary, your expenses could be higher. Very early phase, when you are still not a family man, if your cash burn ratio could be slightly higher, it's okay, but never exceed your cash burn ratio more than 100%. That means you are spending more than what you are earning into. 70% is a danger zone. Try to maintain it less than 70%. At under no circumstances it should cross 100%. Even for the beginners, make a conscious attempt not to exceed your cash burn ratio beyond 90%. Why I'm saying 90%? Because you are in the beginning of your career. You are working for a smaller salary. Your life has still not bloomed. You are not a family man. You are struggling to meet both ends. But be conscious and build a budget and try to live within your means. Don't take it to the extremes and create a crisis in your life. A high cash burn ratio can result in a habit and definitely can lead into midlife crisis. Trap number 8. Undoubtedly, leverage can lead you to midlife crisis. Youngsters of today are definitely falling prey to this leverage. Day in and day out, you see YouTube advertisement, YouTube videos, advertisement on the television, and people keep bombarding you with emails. Trade with us, margin trading, pay less now, take more. So you use now, pay later. See, all this represents leverage. Your margin trading, futures and options, buy something which you don't have money, using your credit card, carry forward balance, all these are representative of leverage. Leverage is you don't have money, you borrow money, use it, trade it, whatever it is. Leverage can cut on either side. If you are investing using the leverage, if you called it right, it can work like a wonder thing. But every day is not a good day for you. So there are days where you might make money. There are more days where you lose money. You lose on one day, you gain on one day, you are back to square one. But mark my words, when you get into this habit of leveraged trading, in all likelihood, you will end up as a big loser, and the guy on the other side will not let you go. You have to clear his balance. And if you don't have the money, that means you will be using your future earning to pay for today's losses or today's consumption. That will constrict your life, and it definitely can lead to midlife crisis. Consciously avoid leverage. Consciously avoid trading. There are better ways of building money. There are better ways of building wealth. Step-by-step guide. You can build a beautiful life. You just don't need to do a leverage at all. You are made to believe leverage is the way to lead life. That's where you are going to make money. Mark my words, that's not the truth. Dear viewers, I am in the business of helping people build a nice, good financial life. You could be a person who is in the beginning of your career or in the midlife or looking at the retirement. You can get help from us to build your financial life in such a way that you don't have to worry about money in your future years. If you are desirous of availing our services, it's a simple step. Send a WhatsApp message on the number that is shown here on the screen, and one of the financial guides working with us will help you to build a robust life going forward. Why delay? Send that message now. Dear viewers, hope the video that I have done today helped you to understand which are all the traps which can lead to midlife crisis. If it helped you to understand how you can build your life beautiful way, please like this video. If you are a person who is watching my channel for the first time, or if you are yet to subscribe for the channel, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Don't forget to share this video with your near and dear ones. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I shall be back with you with yet another useful topic in yet another video very soon.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.